Breast milk establishes a trust. The child trusts you. The child knows that their source of food is from their parent. The only time baby formula should be employed is when the mother cannot at all. Welcome to Dayspring Life and Health channel. Today we're going to talk about a very important subject, and it is the importance of breastfeeding and importance of breast milk. We're going to talk about the components what are in breast milk. So breast milk contains consistent amount of nutrients that is required for a baby's growth. So most babies who depend completely on breast milk are completely well nourished. Is a source of nutrients for, obviously, as we know, for babies, for infants. And God in its own wisdom has made it in such a way that it contains some amount of proteins. About 1% of breast milk is proteins. If you took 100 cc or 100 ml of breast milk, you are most likely going to get on average about 1 gram or 1.3 grams of protein, called occasion and beta protein, lactoalbumin, lactoferrin, and serum albumin. There's also immunoglobulin A, which is an antibody, and there are also proteins that form the enzymes and other minor proteins. But as I said, 100 ml or 100 cc of human breast milk would contain on average 1.3 grams of total protein. The breast milk that is produced right after birth, a few days after birth, those contain a little more protein, 2.5 grams from human breast milk, freshly produced after birth. And then also milk, human breast milk also contains carbohydrates, principally in the form of lactose, and it is believed that this kind of carbohydrate promotes the intestinal flora or intestinal bacteria that is in a kid or in a baby by promoting the growth of lactobacillus, which we all know is found in some of the probiotics that we find. So lactose as a source of carbohydrate in human breast milk helps the baby's abdomen so that the good bacteria will increase in their intestines, basically. Milk also, human breast milk also contains fats and fatty acids, and the principal of these are also the palmitic and oleic acids. Human breast milk contains about 3 to 5% of fat. So if you took again about 100 ml bottle, you most likely on average will find a 3 to 5% grams of fat, and that comes up to be about 1.2 grams per per ounce of fat. So for about 90 mLs or 100 mLs approximately, you are going to get about 3.6 to 3.5 grams of fat. There's also minerals in breast milk. The most obvious ones that we see are the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and chloride. And there are also some elements, trace amounts of iron, copper, and zinc. And they all vary in their amounts. Iron, copper, and zinc may vary in their amounts in any amount that you check for in the breast milk. But the ones that are obviously going to be higher are the potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and the chlorine or chlorides. All right, the calorie content of say 100 ml bottle or say 3 ounces of human breast milk, calorie content on average, it's about 75 kilocalories. 75 kilocalories of energy found in about 100 ml bottle of human breast milk. And then also human breast milk contains some vitamins in the amounts that are consistent with nutritional needs of a child. There is not much difference between races as far as the composition of breast milk is concerned. So if you took a black or white or Asian breast milk that is produced, you are not going to find any significantly different amount in the compositions that we have discussed so far. The compositions may also be affected by the diet of the person who is breastfeeding or who is producing the breast milk. So in places like India, their breast milk is lower in fat content compared to in the United States. Breast milk here is higher in fat content, and this principally is due to the diet of the mothers involved. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much the same. Not breastfeeding should be the last resort if it is at all possible. Women or mothers should try everything possible to feed their children with breast milk because of the important contents of breast milk, as you can tell. The other thing is that the breast milk also promotes the cognitive function of the babies. As you breastfeed, the baby looks at your face, you look at them, you talk to them, they listen to you. So earlier on as a baby, they begin to develop cognitive functions. They begin to look on your face and know when to smile. They begin to understand you. Those are all things that have been innately built along with a breastfeeding exercise. So it's not just feeding the baby. We are also teaching them how to communicate. And soon they will be able to understand your cues. If you want them to stop crying, you may not have to yell. They will see your face. They begin to recognize facial expressions because of the process of breastfeeding. And they learn all these cues from that time, that special time with a child as you breastfeed. So breastfeed is not just for the food. Some people think it's just for the food. So if I can feed them with a formula, that is good. The formula cannot compare to breast milk as far as the food content is concerned. It's naturally better. The other thing is breast milk contains some essential vitamins that may not be present in formulas and baby formula. Much as the formula making companies, the pharmaceutical companies have tried to make baby formula very good, nothing compares to what is God made. There are certain things that cannot be replicated in the lab, and so do not necessarily say that this formula is the best. So it is good if that's all you have, but if you can breastfeed, then please breastfeed, because that's better. That's always better. The other thing is that breast milk contains essential fatty acids. Some fatty acids, as you have already seen, as we have talked about, and some of these are also not present in baby formulas. And the proteins that are in breast milk are not in baby formulas, and so they may put some of the proteins in them, but still it's not the best compared to breast milk. The other thing is that the breast milk, when mothers are breastfeeding, the quantities of milk that come and the slight differences that come in individual breasts are all made to make the baby take in what is needed at each stage of their development. Baby formulas are just one way. If it is one can and you get a pack, it's always going to be the same one. But when breastfeeding, breast milk changes in a day. The amount of nutrients that are producing in the breast changes from day to the morning. So even though it may not be as big, but the body's own natural processes ensures that the milk that is produced is what is needed for the baby at each point in the baby's life. So instead of a constant source of nutrients in the baby formula, which is fixed, breast milk changes slightly, ever so slightly, to meet the baby's needs. Also, breast milk also helps the baby to emotionally bond with the mother. The emotional attachment that comes from a mother to a baby, or a baby to a mother, are all around breastfeeding. That's how Mother's Day are always better than Father's Day, right? That's the unique bond that built because of breastfeeding. Breast milk establishes a trust. The child trusts you. The child knows that their source of food is from their parent, directly from their parent's body. They see it. The only time baby formula should be employed is when the mother cannot at all do breastfeeding. Well, hope you like this. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. Don't wait. Like the video. For you to subscribe, also hit the subscribe button down there, not on the screen, but the one down under the video. Click it and subscribe. for more information. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.